What's happening, YouTube? It's your homie Akuma coming back to you with another video. And today's video is the top 32 match at Gen Con 2 weekends ago, featuring my Firebee deck, me to the left, of course, versus Aaron Hamilton to the right, playing a deck that I pretty much call Absolute Pierce or Aggressive Pierce. Every card in the deck, every character rather in this deck features a character that can utilize Pierce. So he has Trigger Happy, who he sent out first, that has 2 attack and Pierce 4. We have RC. The character that you cannot see at all is Autobot Mirage. That is the Sentinel from Wave 2. He has 2 attack, 2 health, and 2 defense. And in that mode, in alt mode, he has Pierce 2 as well. And then we have Alpha Bravo here, the aerial bot from Wave 2, who has 2 attack and Pierce 3. So everybody in the deck definitely pierces and gets through from some type of damage. Very glad I didn't pick 3-wide prime for top. I think in top was also randomly drawn too, so I got randomly paired up against this. I'm glad I decided to pick my Firebee deck to play and not 3-wide Optimist, because I was just gonna go with Old Faithful, but again, I'm glad I didn't, because I definitely would have had a lot of trouble with that deck. But it looks like, okay, starting off here, Mr. Hamilton won the dice roll, sent in his Trigger Happy to my B, dealt 3 damage, and I'm gonna also send my B in here paired with Squished In My Bugs, which will deal 1 damage to all of his characters, because all of his characters, his highest stars are 8. Trigger Happy is 8, and the rest of them are lower than that. So the Squished In My Bugs will deal the Armor Hovercraft effect, dealing 1 to every other character as well that has less stars than B, which is the 10. Cliff Jumper as well would be able to use Squished In My Bugs pretty effectively, but on every character except for Trigger Happy. But it still would be pretty effective if I had to do it. And I'm confident sending in B like this usually telegraphs that I have a untap effect, start your engines or turbo boosters. But either way, I'm confident that he's not going to be able to do 12 damage to my B next turn. I say 12 damage total because I have 1 defense and I have 11 health left on the B. So if he deals the 12 damage, he gets me. Otherwise, like I said, I'm confident that he won't, because I saw him playing a mix of cards. If it was a super orange deck, I potentially might not have sent B in and sent the Fire Drive in instead. So I take a chance here because he could have something like Reckless Charge, Grenade Launcher. I have no idea, honestly, what he's playing. So I really kind of took a chance there. But as you can see, at least 2 of my flips, I flipped 1 blue. So, and he played Grenade Launcher and Calculated Strike on his Mirage. So Mirage has, 8 attack, 8 Pierce 4. So it gets in for a good bit of damage. And turn passes back to me. Again, sorry about the glare. At Gen Con, there is no way of getting better lighting. I don't even know if there's any type of tool or umbrella or something I could use, and that'd probably be a little bit tacky, too much to at these events. So it is what it is. Maybe if I guess recorded on the other side, it might have been better lighting, not sure, or at a different angle. Thinking about getting a top-down camera. But anyway, so okay, I play one of the best cards in the deck, Start Your Engines. I flip B back to alt mode and then untap him because he, of course, is a card. And then right here, I'm able to potentially activate another action because Lieutenant Bumblebee's effect, when flipped to alt mode, he allows me to play an action for my turn, which doesn't count for my action for the turn. So I get to play 2 actions, like a semi-brainstorm, which is nice. And I do play Press the Advantage on the B. It looks like I target the B, so actually I'm going to send the B in again, so I kind of don't care about him dying. But it looks like I want to get rid of the Trigger Happy this turn, because I'm sure the Press the Advantage targeted the Trigger Happy for the -2 defense. So looking back at these games, it's kind of weird when I look back and it's like, why did I do that and target B? Or maybe I targeted Fire Drive, I'm not 100%. But I feel like this wouldn't be a good spot to send B in here, but... And I'm doing a little cheating here. For whatever reason, I thought I could activate another action. I attempted to activate Treasure Hunt. I think I got a little happy, but need to calm down with my... This isn't an actual brainstorm. I got a semi-brainstorm here. So I play a very strong weapon. Energon Axe. My B is very damaged, so it definitely will work. Okay, and I don't send in the... this turn. So I'll draw for Fire Drive's effect, and then I'll send Fire Drive into Trigger Happy, I'm sure. Pretty sure. So I have 7 attack. Oh, and I actually do kill the Trigger Happy. That's a big deal. The Battle Master being able to take away one of his characters, especially like Trigger Happy, I think was a very big advantage for myself. But he still has some pushback here. But the only thing is, I don't know how hard he wants to necessarily go into my Battle Master this turn. And with a semi-blue deck like he's playing, I don't think he can just one-shot characters. And it seems like his deck does a lot of incremental damage, and just like incremental guaranteed damage rather. Plays Data Bank. Rock Toss on my Fire Drive. He flips Alpha Bravo, so definitely not going to KO Fire Drive this turn. So if I happen to have Peace Through Tyranny, could be a very strong turn. next turn. But he has Data Bank though, so he's setting up, seems like, to get a really big push with RC next turn, and I'm sure I'm aware of that, so I need to be careful what I'm doing next. A potential play I see without me playing any cards, because I forgot exactly what I did, is potentially flipping B back to alt mode and then maybe activating, you know, 2 actions or whatever off the alt mode effect, but actually sending in Cliff Jumper, because when he goes to attack with his RC next turn, I don't care if he kills Fire Drive, and I really don't think he's going to get 12 on the Cliff Jumper. I'm just confident that he's not going to. But hey, he could surprise me, but I doubt it. So I play Arm Hovercraft, another great card against wide decks like these. Definitely the Squish Them Like Bugs and Arm Hovercraft. If you watch my deck profile, I mentioned that those were main deck meta calls for you know, the potential of a lot of Insecticons, which ended up being a correct call. So I was about to attack with the B, but I'm second guessing myself because I know RC could easily get 3 damage on my B and, you know, kill the Bumblebee with, you know, a definite 3 Pierce 3. So I'm taking a minute here, play my action and upgrade for the turn. I do decide to flip the B back. And what this allows me to do is next turn, especially if I have turbo boosters, even if I don't have turbo boosters, the next turn I can flip B back again, draw another card for Cliff, potentially draw into Start Your Engines or turbo boosters, and have a very strong turn because I'll be able to get 2 attacks on all of his tapped bots, or because all of his bots are tapped. Cliff Jumper doesn't work here and gets rid of the Alpha Bravo, so put me in a very solid position. So he draws 2 cards for Data Bank. Pretty sure he'll have a, seems like he should have a big push with RC this turn. Action and upgrade. I feel like the ideal or best thing for him to do here is maybe like a grenade launcher supercharged, but again, his deck has some blue in it, so I'm just guessing at this point. But even like grenade launcher reckless charge puts him at 9, so he'd have to hope to flip a double orange and an orange in order to get that guaranteed 12. And of course, with RC, it doesn't matter how many blues I flip, because whatever RC's attack is, that's how much damage she is getting in. Unless I had a force field out. Force field will still block the Pierce. That is, you know, if she had 5 Pierce 5, the force field would proc, and then I would only take 4 and scrap the force field. So, okay, he does have grenade launcher, powerful weapon, and looks like a rock toss. Played it kind of quick, but I'm moving the dice. Yeah, it had to have been rock toss. So it's like a zap. Rock toss is a orange and black action that when you can only deal, you can deal 1 damage to a tapped bot. So it's zap within a black icon as well, orange and black. So just like I said from the previous turn, what I would most likely do next turn, I flip B, and I also have the turbo boosters, which is a big deal, and I still have an action play. So hopefully, okay, I have no action to play. I probably only had 1 action in hand and wasn't good enough to play. Yeah, confidence. I could have potentially played it, but I decided not to. Pitch to 2 for B's effect. I'm attacking with 11 into the RC. RC's gone, and as you can see, I still have all 3 of my characters, so the lone Out About Mirage definitely is not going to be able to hold up against all 3 characters. But I may potentially get the KO here because Peace to Tyranny, as you can see, I flipped that. That's my first card I flipped, so I'm already at 8 attack. And I can't really tell what I can see. I see a Reckless Charge and a Peace to Tyranny, I can tell from his flips. Again, I apologize for the glare. But yeah, that's enough to KO the Mirage right there. And then we move on to game 2 with some side decking. So I will have to say, while we're side decking here, do some talking. I wish that I stayed Sunday. I left early Sunday morning, and I didn't realize people would still, from the event, people would still come back and you know, just hang around, play around. Potentially a lot of players probably just went to go just enjoy Gen Con for what it's worth for the rest of the weekend and walk around at all the booths and get whatever, you know, memorabilia, etc. But I didn't realize, like, Kyle Hume, shout out to him, the guy that top was Shockwave. And I'll be doing something actually like a semi-collaboration, with his deck coming up soon. So be looking out for that. My updated Shockwave list, and then also his Shockwave list that he brought into the top 32 at Gen Con. So yeah, what I'm getting at is I wish I would have stayed a little longer so I can get those deck profiles maybe from a couple of the top 32 competitors, like Aaron Hamilton's deck, so we can see his deck in full because it's interesting. As you can see, he's side decking Insecticon Scrapnel, so it'll be interesting to see who he takes out to add that in. I think the only character that's viable to take out is Trigger Happy. because all the other characters are 5 stars. So he'd have to take out 2 5-star characters in order to put in that 1 7-star character, and then like a whole bunch of star cards. But I doubt he's going from 4 to 3 wide. So yeah, but I wish I would have got his deck profile, Kyle, and had a couple more. My deck profiles were kind of, I don't want to say dry, but I had 3 decks that had Cliff Jumper from my deck profiles for Gen Con, so that's my bad. And it also sucks because these were the only 2 big events, Origins and Gen Con, before the Energon Invitational. So best believe at the Energon Invitational, I'm definitely going to try to get a couple more deck profiles and go from there. Very excited for that though. But of course we have a while, we have a little hiatus, but this is the time for everybody in their store qualifiers to get qualified for the Energon Invitational the beginning of December at PAX Unplugged in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So, and of course we have Wave 4. We have started to get spoilers already. If anybody hasn't seen the spoilers, definitely check out Triptychon and the green action that deploys the bots from under him. They also showed the 3 bots as well. IGN, I think, shared it, and a couple or somebody else. And of course Triptychon himself. And then what else? Oh, and then they have a really cool action that has one of each icon, white, orange, and blue, which is pretty cool. But you can only play one of them though. Triptychon is 24 stars, so you can only play that one card if you actually decide to play it. And yeah, good luck drawing it. So maybe there's support that adds an action back from your scrap pile, then you may play it or something. That'd be kind of cool. I doubt it though, because that support card for Triptychon is actually pretty powerful if you can get it off. So we'll see. But definitely excited for the spoilers. We have Rat Bat, the Spy Patrol for Soundwave, so definitely excited to see what's going to happen with that. Be looking out for some content from me over the next couple of weeks. I have a lot of notes that I've written up, and want to talk about some things. I have a new series that I want to produce for you guys and potentially help people out for the Energon Invitational tournaments coming up. So just my thoughts on a couple of cards, and do some rambling in a couple of videos, shorter videos too, so it'll be nice, like little 10-minute, 15-minute videos, not my hour-long deck profiles. But again, hey, you guys know I like to talk. So anyway, all right, so it looks like we're finally getting ready for game 2, and Aaron Hamilton, see a field communicator. I'm gonna assume he's going first because I'm not active at all. I have 3 cards, yeah, so he's definitely going to go first again, which I'm fine with because he doesn't get 2 attacks on my bots. I say that because if I were to go first and I had no untap effects, the math shows with my 3 characters versus his 4, he would get 2 attacks on me once I'm tapped out. If I happen to see no untap effects, but him going first, it definitely swings that to not happen, which is good for me. And hopefully I find an untap effect anyway and just offset the tempo of the game and his attacks and kind of make him attack where I want him to. So we'll see what ends up happening. But he starts out the game with attacking with, is that Scrapnel? Oh yeah, you know what? I apologize. Autobot Mirage is also 7 stars, so he just took out Autobot Mirage for Scrapnel. So he's still 7 for 7. And of course, leading with Scrapnel is always great against any orange deck because no matter how much attack I attack with, my Scrapnel will only take 3 damage. I play a really good card. What is that? I play a really good card. Duh. I play Arm Hovercraft. Arm Hovercraft is a really good card against his deck, as I said, from game 1. That's what I meant to say. So I attacked for a pretty nice attack. That was 2 improvised shields, so that would have been 8 attack at 4, but unfortunately the Scrapnel will only take 3. But what's nice about this, the Arm Hovercraft dealt an extra damage to the Scrapnel, which means I won't have to attack Scrapnel 2 more times. Instead, I'll just have to attack him 1 more time, if I even bother attacking him. So, I might save him for later and just focus on his other bots. Like, his big threats are RC and Trigger Happy. So he plays Field Communicator this turn, flips the incoming transmission. So he's able to draw 2 cards and stack a card on top of his deck. Ideally, he would want to draw 2 cards and stack an Improvised Shield or maybe even a Piece through Tyranny. But that's just ideal. It doesn't always get to happen like that. But what this allows him to do is also still play an action for his turn. So he may be able to play a boost card like, Reckless Charge, Supercharge, Press the Advantage if he's playing it. Treasure Hunt. Well, actually, Treasure Hunt, I don't know if that would be smart. Or a decent play here. Good play. So I'm assuming he stacked. Did he stack? He did stack for the transmission. He might have moved a little fast and I missed it. So he sets a secret action. So the first thing that comes to my mind when he sets a secret action is Bolster. Bolster off the top of my head is what I'm assuming that he's going to have set. And You know, I might be wary of what action I play next turn. Like if I don't have to play an orange action, I might not, because it also could be infiltrate. I'm not 100% sure. I don't even know if I looked through his scrap pile to see if he had any other secret actions. I feel like I did, but I might not have. I mentioned that in a long couple of videos ago about, you know, I think when organized play was first announced, or secret action was first announced, to like when your opponent sets a secret action, to immediately look through their scrap pile, see if they have any other secret actions in their scrap pile. And what that'll help you do is better dictate what they possibly might have set. Potentially. Unless you're playing against Shockwave and they have 1,000 secret actions, and you're like, yeah. I over-exaggerate, I know. Alright, so let's see what I decide to do here. We got some decent damage on my bots. 6 damage on the fire drive. Still not in one-shot stand range, which is nice. Being at 7 damage would put him, speaking of one-shot stand, that helped me out a lot, because putting the damage on my fire drive, whatever attack attacks the fire drive next would kill him anyway. So putting that 3 damage effectively on him just is very strong. And then I also killed his bot in the process. So if he does waste another attack at the fire drive, I'm perfectly fine with that. But remember, he does, and okay, that is bolster. He does play bolster, like I said, or like I anticipated rather. And the technical sequence for bolster goes per the rules. The opponent flips for their attack first. Then we check out and calculate the attack, or the defender anyway, really. And then the defender can flip the bolster and then play the force field on their character. So they'll probably still do it no matter what, or should do it no matter what, because the bolster will scrap itself at the end of the turn, because secret actions only last for pretty much a turn and a half. You know, your opponent's action phase and then the opponent's entire turn, or your turn's action phase rather. 2 powerful plays to play together: reckless charge and grenade launcher. And it looks like he's going after cliff jumper, and that's not good for me. And he does get the 1-hit KO. And that was with RC, so no matter what I flipped, getting to that 12 was a big deal, and he got there. And I think he got lucky too. If I recall correctly, he hit a double orange and an orange, and that's what he needed. If he just flipped 2 oranges, then I would have lived by 1. So it kind of throws a wrench in my plays. One thing you definitely want to do against cars, weakness cars do have against other orange decks, or decks that have the potential to hit big numbers, is try to KO the car if you can. If you leave a car alive and they have an untap effect, that's where they're the strongest. So I don't want to say send out your best character against a Bumblebee early game to go kill it, so then Fire Drive and Cliff Jumper can attack them, but you know, it is a potential. It depends. But yeah, trying to kill the cards overall is the way to go. So I play Energon X on B and discard a ramming speed, draw 2 cards, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to attack RC, get her up out of there. Don't really care about Alpha Bravo at the moment. So she's gone. Then we have Trigger Happy versus B and Fire Drive. And actually, the play is about to come up right now that I mentioned in my deck profile video. He activates Peace Through Tyranny, and remember I talked about in, like, this was a local, or if this was you know, a even possibly a preliminary. Well, man, I'd say that back. Maybe not even preliminary. Card laid, card played, pretty much. And even if I were to play a card, you know, I wouldn't try to take it back. I would just beat myself up for it in my head and be like, damn, I can't believe I did that, etc. or whatever. But furthermore, playing a card like Peace Through Tyranny, the card says you may KO one of your 6-star bots or higher. So the thing is, he plays, and I'm talking about it earlier than it happening because the video is about to end here soon. He plays the Peace of Tyranny very confidently, like he knew what he wanted to do, because he wanted to get 2 attacks on my, get an attack on my bot and then be able to untap again, and get we all untap rather, and then you get another attack. So it's coming up pretty soon here. The incoming transmission was not his action for the turn. He played Field Communicator to flip the incoming transmission, just like he did game 1 actually. So he's debating here, thinking about it. And then here's the Peace of Tyranny here, and as you can see, the way he played the card, he played it confidently, like he knew exactly what he wanted to do. And what he didn't want to do was KO the Alpha Bravo and get an attack on my tapped B, and then we all stand because all the bots were tapped, and then he gets another attack on my B, most likely killing it, and then I have to try to KO his Trigger Happy with Fire Drive, and if not, then I would lose the next turn. So 2 turns later. So yeah, he plays the Peace to Tyranny, and he actually ends up KOing the Trigger Happy, which ends up most likely giving me the game here because he didn't get an attack with the Alpha Bravo. We all stood, and he does get another attack, but he definitely needs to kill the B here, and if he doesn't, I definitely get 2 attacks, which is exactly what happens. Talking a little fast here because the video is about to end. So just guys, you know, make sure you pay attention to things like that. Peace to Tyranny says you may KO one of your 6-star bots or higher. So he could have played the card for no effect, and we could have went from there. But I'm sure Aaron, you know, learned from it, and we'll move from there. You know, you either win or learn. It's what I always say. So, you know, I'll have a couple more games coming up this week, and yep, getting these 2 attacks. There's a handshake, and I will catch you guys later. You guys have a great day, a great night whenever you're catching this video. This is S. Akuma heading out. Peace.